Good afternoon. I don't have a Bible video today. I was slacking, so my apologies to God and all of you for that. Been well, wow. Keeping up with the news today, and when I say keeping up with the news, I don't mean just reading an article. I don't just mean reading a headline. I also mean sitting back, letting it sink in, looking at it from the different directions and trying to figure out the uh, the truth. Because a lot of times we don't get the whole story or the complete story. Now, mind you, I do get a lot of my information from RT and Sputnik, and they are usually more often than not uh, right on accurate with the information. It doesn't mean I don't sit there and think about it. It doesn't mean that I don't try to look into the future because that's a large part of what I do. I'm not worried about today. I'm more concerned about tomorrow. Because tomorrow tells me what I do need to worry about today. And so I try to focus out a little further ahead because I want to be prepared. And even if I can't be so physically prepared, I can at least be mentally prepared, knowledgeably prepared, and hopefully I'm always spiritually prepared. So I should be covered on that stuff. Today, there was an absolute onslaught of news. Um, I guess before we get into that, the identity of the YouTube shooter had came out yesterday. Persian lady, I believe 39 years old, I think I seen. 36, somewhere in that range, 36, 39. Initial reports were saying that there was a party there going on at YouTube headquarters, and that she had a boyfriend attending that party. Now, I don't know if that particular claim has been totally dropped or not. I have not heard any more about her being in a relationship with somebody there. However, the numbers changed like they do. Apparently, there was 3 people shot. That was it, which really makes me wonder because I seen reports yesterday, right after the incident, of how there were like at least 30 people lined up out of a makeshift triage tent, in which it was clearly said that they weren't necessarily gunshot wounds that people were being treated for. Now, here's the interesting thing. How long did it take for them to get to Katrina? How long did it take for them to actually have anything effective other than the gun confiscation that happened pretty quick at Katrina? How long did it take them to get set up to help? Quite some time. You'll find the same as being true at many other natural events that happen across the country. When a town is decimated by a tornado, here in the Midwest, which we hear about a little more often, it takes a little bit of time to get stuff set up. In most cases that I know of, they don't really set up triage tents for that, but there's much, much other work to be done. And I'm talking about the devastating cases like with Joplin and stuff like that. It takes them a considerable amount of time. If they do get set up the same day, it's hours in the same day. So here we go once again in the case of the YouTube shooting, to where almost immediately they have a triage tent set up. They've got all this stuff ready to go in working order and everything just going smoothly. Now, here's the thing. I don't expect everything to go smoothly under any circumstances, not in a situation like that. And the reason why is because there are so many unknown variables that it's not really possible. You can go in with the best equipment, with the best people, the best of everything, and it's still going to turn into, forgive the language, Operation Clusterfuck real fast. Real fast. So I get that part of it. So when I see something in which goes so smooth, right? Just like everything was just, wait a minute, pre-planned or scripted. Seems very interesting to me. So, but anyway, a Persian lady, a vegan, self-proclaimed bodybuilder, supposedly, as the story goes, disgruntled about the demonetization and censorship of her content. And I've seen a couple clips of her content. Um, I would have demonetized her too. But no, serious on a serious note, no, I wouldn't have. I honestly wouldn't have demonetized her. That was kind of uncalled for a jab there. But it didn't appear to be that great of content. There again, neither are we. But you know, the thing of it is, I have to look again and even harder at the idea or the thought, at least, that there is a narrative behind this and that there is a motive behind this that is not necessarily the view of the lady that died yesterday from what we were told was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Um, because I'll tell you what, this fits perfectly within YouTube's narrative of what they're doing. Absolutely perfectly. It also helps enforce their anti-gun movement on YouTube. So all that I'm looking at, taking in consideration. But once again, that's a small part of the world, and there's a lot more to look at. So let me go ahead and bring up our Twitter, and we'll go there and go from there. Starting out, China's new tariffs. If U.S. wants trade war, we are ready. Now, at some point, we'll run across Dabu's video to where the Dow, I think it was down like 600 points, something like that, and that's really not the case at this point. It did bounce back, which, by the way, I find interesting in itself. I'm showing right now Dow at positive 230.94 points. So, in fact, the only thing that's down is gold, which is down 0.3 points. So, and here's the interesting thing I did note, crypto. Oh, Bitcoin is actually in the green now. Bitcoin, I looked at this several times through the day, and crypto was down hard. I mean, really, really hard. But it looks like it's doing a little bit better here. I also pay attention to our steeming, okay? Because, let's see. Let me click over here. I want to make sure I don't go on the wrong page. That would not be a good thing. I keep an eye on this right here. This is my estimated account value, and it's going back up. Actually, earlier today at some point it was 6.66, which that always gets me, and I'm like, oh, please change. That was the second time I've noticed that. But anyway, as you can tell, it's gone back up considerably. So that's looking good. I guess, all this stuff I think has its separate rates that it goes up and down at. So Steam, of course, is going to be a variable thing, just like Bitcoin or any of the other cryptos. So anyway, we're rich. We're worth almost $8 here at the Watchman News. So it was actually more, but I cashed out. Well, I tried to cash out. I'm not completely cashed out because you have to have at least a certain amount of Bitcoin to be able to even make an exchange. I was going to actually buy some Clapton wire for my e-cig, and I thought I had enough to be able to make that exchange. And by the time they took their fees, it wasn't happening. So pretty sad. It really is. I got to find a better way because the method I was using, this place really takes a dent out of your amount, especially if it's a small amount. So, oh well, it is what it is. So anyway, that's what's going on. The stocks aren't doing nearly as bad as what they were earlier. So that is interesting in itself because they were down pretty hard. And this trade war really is raging on. Let's see. Putin says Daesh remains global danger despite military defeat. That is very true. When you've got a big country like the United States, and I should say countries like the United States and the UK and many others backing them, whether it be behind closed doors or otherwise, it's not going to be easy to really keep them eradicated for long. U.S. helped Daesh in attempt to gain control over Syria's oil. Now, how many times have I talked about this? Okay, and that's what they did in Afghanistan, and that's how we had our oil for so cheap for so long. It's because it was stolen oil. The United States was using stolen oil, buying and selling stolen oil from ISIS, literally. That's exactly how they were doing it. Russia expels Hungarian diplomat. UK Foreign Office denies claiming nerve agent from Russia despite tweet and Boris Johnson interview. Now, isn't that crazy? Isn't that absolutely insane? After they came out and said over and over and over, Russia did it, Russia did it, Russia did it, now they're backing up off those claims and saying, well, we never said that. Yeah. You guys said it, the United States has said it, and believe me, it doesn't end there. It does not end there. I'm telling you, been a messed up news day. Putin, Erdogan, Rouhani reiterate commitment to resolving Syrian crisis. Russia expels one Belgian diplomat in response over Skripal case. U.S. intelligence promises additional American response to Russia. Here you go. So now you've even got the UK backing off and saying, well, actually lying and saying, well, we didn't say Russia did it. We didn't say Russia did it. And after the United States has done everything that they've done, expelling all the diplomats and putting sanctions and the absolutely grinding Russia into the mud for doing something that personally I don't think they had anything to do with or even had knowledge of. And while the UK is backing off and trying to save face, the United States is doubling down on their stupidity. It's insane. In fact, let's actually go ahead and open that article and take a peek. Dan Coats, the director of U.S. National Intelligence, has promised additional measures from the U.S. to alleged malign Russian activities. This is under considerable consideration, and more things will be done and soon above where we are right now, Coates stated. I would just stay tuned on that. I think we are more and more aware of the potential for Russia to continue to engage in any number of ways relative to our elections, and a lot of steps are being taken. The intelligence head's comment referred to the country's 2018 congressional elections. This might all be to do with the elections, but still, let me go ahead. Despite the lack of any solid proof, Washington has repeatedly accused Moscow of meddling in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Following these claims, refuted by Moscow numerous times, several investigations into the case have been launched since Donald Trump's victory in the presidential election. Because they can't accept the fact that the people of the United States are fed up. We're sick of their same old dog and pony show. And I'm sorry, folks, but you're getting the same old dog and pony show now. Same thing. I don't care what name you put up there. You're going to get the same thing. No weighty results have been achieved during the probe so far. Therefore, recently the U.S. House of Representatives Intelligence Committee voted to end its probe into allegations of Russia's meddling in the U.S. election and release its findings and recommendations. Prior to that, in February, Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives released a memo regarding alleged abuses committed by Federal Bureau of Investigation and Department of Justice in the Russia collusion probe. The document accuses FBI and DOJ officials of political bias against Trump in their investigation. And I'm not saying that that didn't happen, because that most likely happened. I'm not saying that the good old boy network, so to speak, wanted Trump in there. I don't think they did. I do think, as far as that's concerned, Trump is very anti-establishment. I'm not saying that Trump doesn't want to make America great again. I'm saying he can't make America great again. There's a big difference. I don't think anybody can make America great again except for us. And how can we do it? By kicking the big banks, kicking the big corporations, kicking Wall Street, the Federal Reserve, the DOJ, the FBI, CIA, NSA. You just throw me some letters and let's kick them the hell out. Right? You just take the alphabet, right? Write it on a piece of paper. Put it all in a hat and shake it up and dump it on the floor, and we'll kick them out next. So, here's the thing. That's the situation we're in. And if you can't tell by now that there is a global interest that is running this country along with most of the countries on this ball of dirt, then I don't know what to tell you. It's not about one person that we call a president. Not about that. It's about a global effort. It's about an agenda that that global effort has. And there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that Trump has done to even slow that global agenda. In fact, I can show you many things he's done to help speed it up, just like Obama did and Bush Jr. did. It's insane. Commenting on U.S. President Donald Trump's recent statement concerning the expected withdrawal of U.S. forces from Syrian oil, Coates noted that the presidential administration has made a decision on the issue, adding that a statement on U.S. involvement in Syria would soon be released by the White House. As Trump himself has explained, the U.S. military presence in Syria, maintained since 2014 without either a UN mandate or the Syrian government's authorization, was more beneficial to other countries than to Washington. Washington leads a coalition of allies in the fight against Daesh. Damascus has consistently called the U.S. military presence in the country illegal. Man, it's just nuts. It really is. So that wasn't to do with the Skripal case, and I thought it was, and my apologies. I figured it was, because that's the thing going through the news cycle right now. Now, West uses Skripal row to boot Russia from Syrian chemical weapons issue. U.S. uses hybrid aggression against Venezuela to oust Maduro, says the defense minister. And wasn't Florida McKee talking about that yesterday, as a matter of fact? Interesting. Tell you what, that guy's good. He is. I like that guy. Russian OPCW envoy speaks on Skripal case, and I actually watched part of that earlier. Pretty interesting, to be honest. Now this is something we need to pay close attention to. China's military tells Russia, "We've come to support you." We're going to check that out as well. This is from Newsweek. If anybody wants any of these articles, go to our Twitter account. They're all right there. Go to our Twitter account. And if you happen to be on the website itself, right here, you can scroll down. It's all if you go to the Twitter tab, and you'll see the stuff that we've tweeted out during the day. So you can go to thewatchmannews.com. While you're there, do me a favor. Scroll down on the page and click the stupid ad. You don't have to buy nothing. You don't have to do nothing. You don't have to fill nothing out. Just click the stupid ad and close the window out. And believe it or not, it actually does help us. Believe it or not, it really does. In fact, I can't believe how much it helps us. I've showed this before, and it's not what we get is not top secret to anybody, and I want you guys to know that. I'm not going to be like anybody else. We are not going to be top secret about anything. Somebody's been clicking the hell out of it today. I admit I clicked it once today. But today, $1.26. So yesterday we didn't have nothing. But see, that last month, since I got in it late in the month, we only got $2.04 from this. And again, I don't know how this works. I don't know if we actually get just a small portion of that, or how this works. I don't know. But if I can get a few people to go each day and click that ad, this will add up. And no, we're not going to make millions. We're not going to go out and buy a new car. We're not going to pay rent. Hell, we're not even going to be able to pay the power bill. Okay, that's not our goal. I meant to say internet, not power bill, but either way, that's not our goal. Our goal is to be able to purchase some stuff to be able to use on the show, to be able to do some how-to type of videos, or maybe a review, or that's it. So if it takes 2, 3, 4 months, hopefully not that long, but if it takes a couple months for us to hit that $100 threshold to get a payment, that's fine. Like I showed you guys before, there was $55 in there for like, what, a year and a half? Something like that. So, because we were connected to Freedom, so nothing more was being put in there. But yeah, so 55 of that 5821 you see was actually there for about a year and a half. We don't make jack. We don't make squat on YouTube, except for the super chats. Thank you, Smitty, for those, because that's going to help us. That's between Smitty's super chats and maybe with a few more website clicks. It won't be this month, I don't believe. I should say the end of this month. It won't be. Maybe the end of next month, we might actually be able to cash out. And we already do have our next. That money has been accounted for, because we would like to get out. We plain and simple, we would like to be able to get out. However, there should be enough to be able. When I say that, I'll explain what I mean. There should be enough to be able to get the solar charge controller as well. And then I'll be showing you guys some stuff on solar for a small solar setup. But the primary thing that I said it's already spoken for is a little trailer to put behind my bike for Blue. So that way me and Jen can get out and go on bike rides and stuff like that. We don't have to worry about Blue. We can put her in the back in the trailer and just cruise around. So anyway. Clicking that ad at the bottom helps, and I just wanted to show you guys that. So, of course, got the donate button, yada, yada, yada. You guys know it by now. So anyway, back to this. China military tells Russia, we've come to support you against U.S. China's military leadership has pledged its support to Russia as tensions between Moscow and the West further deteriorate into diplomatic isolation, economic sanctions, and dueling defense drills. In his first visit to Russia, newly appointed Chinese Defense Minister Wei Feng attended the 7th Moscow International Security Conference, accompanied by a delegation of other high-level military officials. Emphasizing that his trip was coordinated directly with Chinese President Xi Jinping, Wei said that he had two major messages for Russia at a time when both nations were attempting to modernize their armed forces and strengthen their hands in global affairs in spite of U.S. fears. I am visiting Russia as a new defense minister of China to show the world a high level of development of our bilateral relations and firm determination of our armed forces to strengthen strategic cooperation, Wei said at a meeting with Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu. I think that might be how it's said. Maybe. It's like putting on a blindfold and throwing darts at a dartboard, right? Probably not going to get it right. According to the state-run TASS Russian news agency. Second, to support the Russian side in organizing the Moscow International Security Conference to the Chinese side has come to show Americans the close ties between the armed forces of China and Russia. Especially in this situation, we've come to support you, he added. The Chinese side is ready to express with the Russian side of our common concerns and common position on important international problems at international venues as well. Russian President Vladimir Putin and his Chinese counterpart command what's often considered the world's second and third most powerful armed forces, respectively, behind the U.S., while the Pentagon has managed to retain a comfortable lead against its leading competitors. Moscow and Beijing have coordinated closely as they both aim to close this gap and check U.S. influence abroad. As Russia showed off its military prowess by declaring victory in the Syrian conflict and boosting its military power across Europe, China has invested in international infrastructure projects, especially across Asia and Africa, and expanded its presence in the Pacific. Both countries argue they are looking to work with and not against the U.S., but Washington has viewed their rise with suspicion and has taken countermeasures against perceived challenges to the international order it has traditionally dominated for decades. In addition to boosting its own military power in Europe and Asia, the U.S. has portrayed growing Russian and Chinese influence abroad as an assault on democracy. The West has singled out Russia especially, accusing it of interfering in the 2016 U.S. presidential race and other foreign elections. Washington has also charged Moscow with being behind cyber attacks and physical attacks, including the poisoning of ex-Soviet intelligence officer Sergei Skripal, who was arrested for being a double agent for London before being released in a 2010 spy swap and moving to the UK. Yikes. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of it, but you get the point. It's not getting any better. Not getting any better. Let's see. Spain wants to reclaim Gibraltar, rules out holding Brexit deal hostage. UK refused to provide Russia samples of nerve agent used to poison Skripal. Isn't that incredible? Right? That is absolutely incredible to me that they will not provide them with that. Facebook reveals how many users could be wronged by Cambridge Analytica actions. That's right, 87. They're saying, at least what they're claiming is 87 million people had their information, that was handed over during that. Insane. Trump directs Pentagon, DHS to deploy National Guard to border. And a F-16 jet crashed outside of a Las Vegas airbase. So, pretty crazy stuff. I'm going to close up the monologue for those that haven't seen it yet. The gun control debate video that I had earlier posted, and I'll close up on it. Let me get it in another place, though, real quick. Alrighty, let me get it over there, and I will speak to you as soon as it's over. Hey, Blue. Nobody needs an AR-15. Nobody needs an AR-15. Nobody needs an AR-15. It's a weapon of war, you know. She's just not having it. I mean, she won't even have a discussion with me on it. It's just the answer's no. Absolutely not. So I don't know what to do here. I guess we need to just keep telling her over and over and over again until we brainwash her, right? Pretty much like what was done with the students in this country, and we can we'll play some Dianne Feinstein for her, right? That'll work. That'll do something. Might even make her run out in front of a truck or something. But anyway, folks, that's what I got for the monologue today. Stick around for the rest of the news, and I thank everybody for watching. As always, God bless you all. We love you all, and be one with your spirit. Have a good one, folks.